Lay around and watch TV, not doing much is the life for me. Could take a shower, cause I really think, but nah, I think I'd rather drink. I get off on pushing my luck, and I'm much better off when I'm totally drunk. I know one of these days my time will come, but until then, give me a bottle of rum. Wake up at 2 or maybe 3 tubs every day is the life for me. Could get a job cause I need the cash, but now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. Well, today I am going to do a spoiler-free review of the movie Shazam. Now, before we get into it, I do want to thank you all so much for tuning in today. Make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell so you get notifications anytime we have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And while you're at it, make sure you share this video with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. Now, I did get a chance to go see the Shazam movie yesterday at the movie theater. There was some big thing on Fandango, and they were selling seats and all kinds of stuff. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Now, I don't exactly know where to start with this movie review. I gotta tell you, the one thing is, it was definitely a very, very good movie. Okay, you know what? Warner Brothers is back. Okay, Warner Brothers has finally started to hit the right, man, I don't know, they've just got the right tone. It seems like they're finally getting all their eggs in a row. After the success of Aquaman, and we all know how good that movie was, this movie is no different. Warner Brothers is finally get their footing back on the superhero comic book franchise. This movie was exciting. It started off really good, and it finished even better. The wow, I honestly don't know what to say. You have to go out and see this movie. At first, I was questioning if I really wanted to go see this movie, taking my kids and everything, and I got to tell you, I do not question that any longer. It's a must-see. I'm getting ready to get on and buy tickets for my whole family so we can go see that when it comes out at the theater. Man, I really don't know where to start. Zachary Levi nails his role in this movie. The kid playing Billy Batson in the movie did really good. Now, the person playing his brother in the movie, I can't remember all these kids' names. When I do my full-on spoiler review, I will have all that information available. But I got to tell you, the kid who is playing, and you see him a lot in the commercials, who's basically playing like his advisor, I guess you could say, does a really excellent job. The kid is a great actor. I'm not sure what all kind of movies this kid has been in before, but he kind of reminds me of like a really, really young Dudley Moore. And by that I mean like his acting is great. He's got some really great expressions, and I think part of it is his eyebrows too. He's got those eyebrows that really kind of, you know, he kind of like I said, he kind of reminds me of Dudley Moore. I'm not sure if you know who Dudley Moore is or if you've ever seen any of his movies, but he's kind of got that quality to him, just like the way his performance comes through in the movie. Mark Strong did an excellent job here as a bad guy. Jaimon Hansu was really great. Overall, the casting in this movie was really, really well done. I can't say that there's one performance in this movie that falls flat, that's not good, that's not great. There's everything about this movie is right. The budget, remember how I was talking about in Aquaman, they got the budget just right. You know, they found a good balance of budget and just everything for like from their special effects to just everything. Okay, this movie didn't do that. It didn't have that balance. This movie spared no expense is what I'm trying to say. They did everything absolutely right. The graphics in this movie are great. The cinematics are great. The acting is great. Everything, the tone of this movie is overall, it is wonderful. The movie starts out, you know, obviously it's like an origin story, and we get that in this movie. I don't know anything about this character. Okay, I never read Shazam in the comic books, anything like that, and I can tell you, this movie you don't really need to going into this movie. This movie gives you everything that you need at the very beginning of the film. As far as like the origins and things like that that you need to know. And a lot of that, like I said, at first I don't know these characters. I was confused. You see Thaddeus and no, or Thaddeus. I can't remember. Like I said, I'll tell you more of that in the review. And he ends up being the main bad guy in the film. Okay, and and a lot of this stuff we know from the commercials. What's his name? The main bad guy. See, and that's how bad it is right now. It's early in the morning, but it was a really good movie. They introduce all the characters really good. They introduce Shazam really well, and kind of what's going on with that character, which is played by Djimon Hounsou, which we see in the trailers, and how he's trying to give his powers to. Well, in the end, we learn he's trying to give his powers to somebody, and that person ends up being Billy Batson. Now, the chain of events leading up to that are quite telling. The guy playing, like I said, this movie is really well cast. You have to go see this movie at the theater. Okay, there's so many big things that happen in this movie, and man, I can't really say in exactly all the right words how exciting this movie was. Man, it was a joyride. Okay, now I got to tell you, definitely of the Captain Marvels that are in theaters right now, this Captain Marvel knocks it out of the park. And I do realize I'm just kidding. Please no, I'm just kidding. Obviously they don't go by Captain Marvel in this movie, but I do have to say they did every single thing right in this movie. Like I said, really well written. The music, the soundtrack, a lot of the things in this movie just scream excitement. Excitement. Like I said, Warner Brothers has definitely got their footing on what they're doing now. Hopefully this is their step continuing in that same direction. Hopefully they continue in this direction. The movie was really well done. And if you all have any comments, if I do have any viewers here, please feel free to leave those questions or comments down in the comment section. Man, like I said, without spoiling anything, there's not a whole lot I can say. The family element in this movie is definitely there. As we all know, Billy Batson, we know this from the trailers, Billy Batson is basically an orphan. Basically, he's in foster homes and things like that, and he's get this family that takes him in. And the family, I mean, just from the very get-go, you meet this family, and you get into the house. Initially you see the family, where he ran away from. Then he gets into this new family. And they are, wow, it's something else. It's really touching the family dynamic they built into this movie, because there essentially is no, there is no family, but it's all family, because all these kids are orphans and they're in this home, and these parents that are in the movie and the people that were cast as the parents did an amazing job. They were very lovable just from the very get-go. I don't come from a broken home, okay, so it's hard for me to relate to that, but everything about that shines through in this movie. I think the people playing the parents in this movie were really great. How they interacted with the kids was really great. You're introduced to all the family, all the kids in the family who are part of this foster family, and it's really touching. It's really, really well done. Like I said, I honestly don't know all the words that I can say to put into aside from getting my tears rolling for you all here, and you probably can't see that on this camera, that the portrayal here in this foster family is really great. You can see that this family has obviously been together for a while. The parents are really understanding of everything. They even say in the beginning of the movie they were once foster children, and that's kind of what started them on doing this. And like I said, the performances here just with the family are amazing. You meet the youngest daughter, and like I said, when I do my spoiler or my full spoiler review, I'll get all these names and everything in there. But the little girl playing the youngest girl, she was so awesome from the very get-go. She really touches your heart. She really does. And you just loved it. You just love this little girl. And later in the movie, she kind of the portrayal of this character changes, and it is once again knocked out of the park. And you can see that same performance shine through. Much like, you know what, like imagine Jack Black in the movie Jumanji. Remember Jack Black? How in the movie Jumanji he is basically Jack Black in the video game. You know, he's like a 30, 40 some year old professor, and then after they get sucked into the video game, like you can see that he is actually a 17-year-old girl, and how he played that role the whole time as that 17-year-old girl really shone through. Well, that happens with the character in this movie. The person playing, like I said, this is spoiler free. The person playing this little girl later does a phenomenal job at getting that little girl to shine through. Okay, then next we meet the boy who plays the little boy who I would say is the next oldest in this movie, is played by I can't remember all the actors' names, but this little boy, he is the Asian actor. I believe he plays in what is that movie? Fresh Off the Boat. He is one of the middle-aged brother in that movie. Middle-aged? He's not the youngest, is he? I believe he's the middle-aged brother in the TV show Fresh Off the Boat. Knocks it out of the park. This kid, if you've never watched the TV show Fresh Off the Boat, you need to go check it out. Hilarious TV show. But this little Asian kid with the glasses who's playing the brother does an excellent job of playing like the techie, nerdy geek kid who, man, he knows his stuff too. He knows his stuff. And he does a really great job. Like I said, all these characters later get portrayals of them, different portrayals of them, I guess you could say. I don't really want to go into that, but they're all perfectly cast as well, and you can see all of these kids' personality shining through in their later portrayals. Now, after that, God, who else did we meet? We meet the brother, one of the other brothers in the step family. He was an heavy set kid, and his later portrayal is really good. And once again, this kid does a really excellent job. Just being part of the foster family. Like I said, the family dynamic is really there. All the kids who played these foster children were really great. Now, the villain, Mark Strong, did really excellent. They introduced his character, and this character basically has, obviously has his own fate. He's going to end up being the bad guy. But they introduce him and his brother and his family all in a perfect manner as well. The guy playing his father, oh man, I can't remember the actor playing his father, but he was perfect. If you ever seen the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray, he actually plays in that movie. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, and he plays like the sleazy guy who's brought in to help Bill Murray's character in the movie Scrooged. This guy plays the father of Mark Strong's character, the main bad guy. Like I said, I can't remember all the names in here right now, but he does a really excellent job playing this father that eventually turns this kid into the main villain. Excellent job, and they set it up really well. And now the tone of this movie was really good. It is kind of a darker tone at first, and it's pretty. It's pretty dark. I really don't know how else to say that. But it's not too dark that I wouldn't take my kids to it. Now, we do obviously see that Mark Strong plays the bad guy, and he takes on the seven deadly sins, and the seven sins. The way they're portrayed is really good. Now, the CG in this movie is excellent. And this is where we get into like the seven sins, and they are basically like these statues, these gargoyles. And it's really well done. They break down, they turn into like spirits. The CG in this movie is excellent, and the most of it you're gonna see is in when you see the seven sins and things like that, and it's really well done. Now there is some of the CG right in the movie that I think could be a little bit better, and that just comes in mostly with scenes with Zachary Levi, where he's being Shazam. Just there are some shots when they're flying around, and things like that, where the CG does get a little bit. It does turn down just a little bit, but overall the CG is great. And even in these scenes where I'm talking about, it's actually really well done. It's just they kind of stick out to somebody like me watching it. They definitely stick out as things that they could have done better. But like I said, for most people, it's probably not even going to stand out. You may not even notice it. Really well done. The script was really well done. Overall, like I said, you definitely need to get out and see this movie. Warner Brothers is getting things right. They are finally getting their footing right. And, I think a lot of that plays on the fact that they finally realized the one thing. They went back to the one thing that always done them good through all the years, okay? Now, like I said, I've talked about this in previous videos. People seem to forget that Warner Brothers has been in the comic book genre, like movie making genre for a long time. And I can't remember if the God, was it Richard Donner? The Supermans, if those were Warner Brothers when they released, or if they were under a different banner and then eventually Warner Brothers took them over. But I grew up on Superman, on Christopher Reeve's Superman, and those movies, those movies stand the test of time. You know what I mean? And you go back and look, and they were like serious films, but it didn't seem like they really took themselves seriously. You go back and watch Batman, Tim Burton's Batman. It was a really great movie, and then that's for a long time that was the standard. It was a really great movie, really great, just everything all together. I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan, but I will tell you one thing: those original Batman films are excellent. And one thing they did was they made serious films while still not taking themselves very seriously. They kind of had fun with it. And that's what they've done here. We seen they took and went dark once they did the Christopher Nolan Batmans, the Nolan brothers. When they started doing their Batmans, and it got really dark and it got really serious. And a lot of people really praised those movies as being great, and I really do like those movies. But to me, they're not the best movies in the world. I mean, I like them. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, they're not the greatest to me. I don't praise them as much as many other people do. I do like their tone. They're serious, they're dark, and everything like that. But as far as like getting my kids to watch them, my kids watch them and just like, it's kind of a boring action movie for them, really, And that's cool, and that's just fine because that works with Batman. That's kind of who that character is. Now, I think where Warner Brothers' mistake was when they started building, how would you say, the Snyderverse. Let's just call it that. When they started building the Snyderverse, it seems like they tried to keep that dark tone and continued forward with that. And I don't think they should have. It seems like that started to like ruin their fun that they have in the films that should be maintained throughout these films. Because like I said, the Nolan films are one thing. The ones they started doing after that, if they were wanting to build a bigger universe to bring more families into, they started to take the wrong direction there, and it worked. It didn't work out too well at the beginning, and they started to back up off of that once they released Aquaman, and that's when they really started to find their success, and that's what they've done here. They've gotten back into not taking themselves so seriously. They follow a lot of the typical, I guess, like comic book movie tropes, and it worked out. It works out. And like I said, this film doesn't take itself really seriously because while it's a serious film with a lot of serious implications going on in it, it just has fun, and that's what they have had success in doing, is having fun with their movies. And I truly hope this is something they continue doing, because this movie was really fun. I was excited from the second my butt hit the seat and the movie started. I was excited. I was sucked into the movie. And I got to tell you that, like I've mentioned about the Captain Marvel thing a minute ago. Now, the Captain Marvel movie, I felt the same way, actually. For like the first 45 minutes, almost hour of the Captain Marvel movie, I was in my seat and I was excited. Well, in this movie, that excitement doesn't really, it doesn't let down. It pulls you in a lot of directions. It gives you, starts off with that mystery, introducing the characters, and it gets into some exciting stuff. And then it backpedals right back into some more family stuff, introducing the families. And then it begins to start to take a comedic shift. And then we get sucked into some action, some drama, and then it all really just starts to culminate and just really snowballs. It snowballs really fast. Fun, exciting. I don't know how many great things I could say about this movie. We do get introduced into a lot more heroes. Shazam isn't by himself. Now, there are a couple things I am going to spoil for you here, okay? And there's nothing, and that's not anything that's really going to spoil anything for you, but I will tell you, okay? Superman does have a cameo, as well as Batman. And I think the cameos that you see Superman and Batman in this movie, I think it's going to make you laugh. I think you may like it. And I think it was really well done. It was really well done. Now, like I said, they do make an appearance in the movie. I won't tell you who exactly makes cameos, but Batman and Superman certainly do make an appearance in the movie, and I like the way they did it, because we're all going to be talking about Superman and Batman being in this Shazam movie. And I will talk more about that in a spoiler-free review as well. I don't want to keep this video going too long. Overall, like I said, I would say they definitely hit the mark on this movie. Great movie. Now, as far as ranking it so far, I'm definitely going to have to give it oh man, I hate ever giving anything like a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10. But overall in this movie, I would say like 4 stars. I would definitely say this movie is, man, it's a solid 8. Now, does it make that stretch to 9? Ooh, I don't know, because like I said, when it comes to giving that, I feel a lot of people just give 10 to an excellent movie, okay, just to like a good movie. I would think a lot of people probably give Avengers Infinity War a 10. And I got to tell you that for me, even, and you all know I'm a huge Avengers fan and a huge Marvel fan. Now, I would tell you that not even Avengers Infinity War for me is a 10. Though, I would say it's very, very close. If you've heard me talk about that movie before, I've said that Avengers Infinity War was a movie that did everything right, and there are serious filmmakers out there who haven't made this great of a film. I would say Shazam is almost that for the Warner Brothers in this regard. I would say it took all the fun and excitement of Aquaman and took it a step further. And they we do mention Aquaman in this movie as well, and I believe we've seen that in some of the trailers. And overall, really well done. Everything they did in this movie was done right. You have to go see this movie. Character portrayals, excellent. The acting were excellent. Script was excellent. The graphics were excellent. The music in this movie was excellent. The mood was excellent. Everything about this movie is excellent. So if you ask me, like I said, it's really hard for me to say, but I want to say it's an 8.5 out of 10. Man, it's really hitting that 9, man. It's really almost there. And I gotta say, I'm excited about that. You all know, if you follow me on this channel, I am a huge Marvel fan. I read a lot of the Marvel comic books. I definitely follow the MCU big time. I've always watched the Warner Brothers movies as well, and always hoped that they would start to hit their right stride, and they are finally there. I don't think at this point that we're going to question Warner Brothers when they're getting ready to do a superhero film anymore. I just don't think that we're going to be questioning it at all anymore. They've got the right footing. They've got the right tone. Everything about this movie is excellent. Now, before I let you all go, and this is a must-see at the theater, before I let you all go, I did want to tell you all about this new channel. Some friends of mine, you can find a link down in the description. It's called Those Damn Skits. A few friends of mine, they just started this channel where they are putting together just like some hilarious little skits. I don't know, I think most of them are a couple minutes long. They're not very long videos, so you should definitely go check them out. As I said, there's a video link down in the description. Make sure you go there. If you like their videos, make sure you're subscribed to them. Give them a thumbs up on their videos. And you know what? Most of all, could you do me one huge favor if you go and check out Those Damn Skits? Could you please do me one favor? Leave a comment on one of their videos and tell them I sent you. That's all I ask. Just tell them that the Second Street Marvel sent you to check out their videos. Definitely become a subscriber of theirs. They're just started. They've got a few videos out. Very funny stuff. And I can't wait to see the progression of things that they're doing. So, like I said, they're doing a good job over there, and you can follow them on their. They have an Instagram page. You've got Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. So you should definitely check them out. Those Damn Skits, very funny stuff. Also, down in the description are some links for the Vigilantes for Children. You can go there and follow them on their social media sites, where you could buy shirts, hats, decals in their online store and things like that to show your support for the cause. Also, down in the description are links for the Peanut Peddler. The Peanut Peddler is the distributor of the Mountain Man Nut and Fruit Company, where they are the purveyors of fine nuts, dried fruits, chocolates, and candies. They have been in business for over 40 years, perfecting the art of the snack. So you can search through hundreds of items and have them delivered straight to your door. Now, also, as soon as we hit 200 subscribers, I am going to be doing a giveaway for Warner Brothers Aquaman. So, make sure you subscribe, click the little bell so you get notifications anytime we have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And to get entered into that giveaway for Warner Brothers Aquaman, you have to leave a comment in the videos. In any of the videos since we hit 100 subscribers when I gave away a digital copy of Sony's Venom. So, while you're at it, also make sure you share this video with a friend and tell them to come hang out with us here on the 2nd Street Marvel. You all have a very, very good day and have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Lay